Picture this: a tiny bear cub, frozen, shivering on a riverbank, completely alone. No mother in sight. No warmth. Just the icy wind and fading strength. Abandoned? Lost? No one knows. But what happens next? Even the most experienced wildlife experts couldn't believe it. Frozen bear cub found shivering on a riverbank. What its mother does next amazes rescuers. Imagine this: you're hiking through a frozen wilderness, the cold air biting at your skin, the snow crunching beneath your boots. The world is silent except for the distant sound of a river flowing under a thin layer of ice. And then, you see it. A tiny bear cub, barely moving, its fur coated in frost. Its small body shivers violently, each breath slow and weak. It looks too young to be alone. No mother in sight. Just the freezing wind and the cruel reality of nature. For a moment, you wonder, is it even alive? One of the hikers kneels beside the cub, carefully extending a gloved hand. A second passes. Then another. Just as they fear the worst, the cub's tiny body shifts ever so slightly. A slow blink. A weak, desperate breath. It's alive, but barely. Now, the hikers face a dilemma. Do they step in and help? Or do they wait, hoping the mother bear is somewhere nearby? Wildlife experts always warn, never interfere with wild animals, especially bear cubs. A mother bear will do anything to protect her young, and if she's anywhere close, she could see humans as a threat. But this cub, it's dying. The hikers can see it. Doing nothing means certain death. The temperature is dropping fast, and the cub's tiny frame is already stiff from the cold. Every second counts. Finally, one of the hikers makes a decision. They call a wildlife rescue team. But just as they get through to an expert, something happens that no one expected. The shadow in the trees. A sound. A deep, low growl carries through the frozen forest. The hikers freeze in place, their breath visible in the icy air. Slowly, they turn toward the dense tree-line, their hearts pounding. And then, a shadow moves. From the depths of the forest, a massive figure emerges. The mother bear. Her dark eyes lock onto the cub, then shift toward the humans. She's exhausted, her breath heavy, her movements slow. But her presence alone is enough to send a jolt of fear through the hikers. A mother bear in distress is one of the most dangerous animals in the wild. Everyone stays completely still. No sudden movements. No noise. The mother bear steps forward, her powerful paws crunching the snow beneath her weight. But something is different. She doesn't charge. She doesn't growl in aggression. She hesitates. Her eyes move between the humans and her cub. Her body sways slightly, as if she's too weak to move any faster. And then, something truly unbelievable happens. She lets out a low, deep sound, a mix between a groan and a whimper. Not a roar of anger, but a call of desperation. It's as if she's pleading for help. The daring decision. The hikers exchange glances. They can feel the weight of the moment. The mother bear is clearly distressed. She wants her cub, but she's not attacking. Then, one of the rescuers has an idea. A risky one. Carefully, without turning their back to the bear, they reach into their backpack and pull out a thermal emergency blanket. Slowly, they place it on the snow, just a few feet away from the cub. And then, they step back. The mother bear watches, her breathing heavy, her eyes locked onto them. Seconds feel like hours. And then, she moves. Cautiously, she steps toward the cub. She sniffs the air, then lowers her massive head, gently nudging the tiny body with her nose. The cub stirs weakly, letting out a faint, helpless cry. And then, the mother does something no one expected. She carefully takes the thermal blanket in her jaws and wraps it around her cub. The rescuers watch, stunned. They've never seen anything like this. Animals are smart. Bears, especially, are highly intelligent. But this is something more. This mother recognized that the humans weren't a threat. She understood they were trying to help. And instead of fighting them, she accepted their aid. With the cub wrapped securely in the blanket, she gently lifts it in her jaws, turns, and disappears back into the forest. The hikers are left standing in silence, their hearts racing. What just happened defies everything they thought they knew about wild animals. The aftermath. Days later, wildlife experts track the area, searching for any signs of the mother and cub. And what they find? Fresh bear prints. Both large and small. Side by side. Against all odds, the mother and her cub survived. Experts believe the mother had likely been searching for her lost cub for hours, maybe even longer. The freezing temperatures had weakened her, making the rescue situation even more urgent. But the fact that she hesitated instead of attacking? The fact that she accepted help instead of fighting? That's what has left wildlife researchers in awe. Bears are highly intelligent, but this moment proves something even more powerful. They are capable of trust. What do you think? This story raises an incredible question. Did the mother bear truly understand the hikers meant no harm? Did she recognize kindness? Or was it all just instinct? What do you believe? Let me know in the comments. And if this story amazed you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible wildlife moments. Because nature never stops surprising us. For a growl in the shadows, a mother bear's unbelievable reaction. A low, rumbling growl breaks the eerie silence of the frozen wilderness. The sound sends a jolt of fear through the hikers, their breath hitching as they scan the tree line. The snow-covered forest, once peaceful, now feels suffocating. Then, movement. A dark shadow shifts between the trees. Their hearts pound. Suddenly, she's here. A massive mother bear emerges from the depths of the forest, her thick fur dusted with snow, her powerful frame moving slowly but purposefully. She stops just a few yards away, her dark eyes locking onto the tiny, frozen cub on the riverbank. And then, she looks at them, the humans standing nearby. The moment of fear. Every muscle in the hiker's body tenses. No one dares to move. A mother bear protecting her cub is one of the most dangerous encounters in the wild. One wrong move, one misstep, and she could charge. A bear of this size could cover the distance in seconds, her powerful claws and massive strength making escape impossible. But this situation is different. She doesn't lunge. She doesn't roar in aggression. Instead, she hesitates. Her breathing is heavy, visible in the icy air. Her body sways slightly, as if exhaustion weighs her down. She isn't just cautious, she's desperate. It's as if she knows she's out of options. A decision that could change everything. The hikers exchange nervous glances. The mother bear's behavior is unusual. She isn't acting like an aggressive protector. She's acting like a mother in distress. Then, one of the rescuers does something risky. Slowly, without turning away, he reaches into his backpack and pulls out a thermal emergency blanket. Carefully, he kneels down and places it on the snow, just a few feet from the cub. And then, he does the most important thing. He steps back. The mother bear watches, unmoving, her breath slow and deliberate. Seconds stretch on like an eternity. And then, she moves. The unbelievable moment. The mother bear steps forward, cautiously closing the gap between herself and her cub. Her massive paws crunch the snow, but her movements remain deliberate, measured. She lowers her head, nudging the tiny cub with her nose. A faint whimper escapes from its trembling body. And then, she does something that shocks everyone. She reaches down, takes the thermal blanket in her jaws, and carefully wraps it around her cub. The hikers can't believe what they're seeing. It's as if she understands what the blanket is for. As if she recognizes that these humans, creatures she should see as a threat, were only trying to help. The mother bear gently lifts her cub, now wrapped in the blanket, and takes a final look at the rescuers. Then, without hesitation, she turns and disappears back into the forest. A moment that defies logic. The hikers remain frozen in place, struggling to process what they just witnessed. A wild animal, a mother bear, had not only hesitated instead of attacking, but she had also accepted help. Wildlife experts later explained that this kind of behavior is almost unheard of. Bears are highly intelligent, capable of problem-solving and complex emotions. But this moment? This was something beyond instinct. This was trust. What do you think? Did the mother bear truly understand the humans were trying to help? Did she recognize kindness? Or was it all just survival instinct? What's your take? Let me know in the comments. And if this story amazed you, hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible wildlife encounters. Because nature is full of surprises. 4. A mother's trust. The unbelievable moment in the wild. The mother bear stands motionless, her dark eyes shifting between the fragile cub and the human standing nearby. Her massive frame, covered in a dusting of snow, rises and falls with each heavy breath. But she doesn't charge. She hesitates. For a creature known for its protective instincts, this moment is unthinkable. A mother bear, faced with strangers so close to her cub, should react with aggression. But instead, she stands there, watching. It's as if she's waiting. A risky gesture of kindness. One of the rescuers, heart pounding, slowly kneels and pulls an emergency blanket from his pack. The fabric crinkles softly as he unfolds it, every sound feeling impossibly loud in the frozen silence. He places the warm blanket near the cub, careful not to make any sudden movements. Then, he does the most important thing of all. He steps back. The mother bear watches him, her breath fogging the cold air. And then, in a moment that defies all logic, she moves forward, not with rage, not with fear, but with trust. She sniffs the blanket, then gently nudges it around the tiny, trembling cub. She accepts the help. A mother's love knows no boundaries. The hikers watch in stunned silence as the mother bear lowers her massive head, carefully lifting the cub in her jaws. She cradles it, not just with strength, but with care. And then, without another glance, she turns and walks back into the wild, disappearing into the trees. No roar. No panic. Just a silent understanding between humans and a mother bear, brought together by something more powerful than fear. Love. Nature never stops surprising us. Wildlife experts later said this moment was unlike anything they had ever seen. A wild bear, choosing to trust instead of attack? Accepting help instead of fighting? It challenges everything we think we know about nature. So what do you think? Was this pure instinct, or something more? Let me know in the comments. And if this story amazed you, hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible wildlife encounters. Because sometimes, the wild isn't as wild as we think. 4. A remarkable survival, a mother's trust in humans. Days passed. The frozen forest remained as silent and unforgiving as ever, but something incredible happened. Fresh bear tracks appeared in the snow. One set was large and deep, the unmistakable prints of a mother bear. Beside them, smaller, lighter tracks. The cub had survived. The same tiny bear that had once shivered helplessly on the riverbank was now walking again, moving alongside its mother through the wilderness. For the hikers and rescuers who had witnessed the unbelievable encounter, this was the proof they had been hoping for. The mother bear had taken the cub, cradled it in warmth, and disappeared into the trees. And now, against all odds, they were still alive. A moment that defies nature. When experts heard the story, they were stunned. A mother bear, faced with humans near her cub, should have acted aggressively. She should have chased them away, seen them as a threat. But she didn't. Instead, she hesitated. She allowed the humans to help. She trusted. This kind of behavior is almost unheard of in the animal kingdom. Wild animals are wired for survival. Their instincts tell them to be cautious, to fight or flee when faced with danger. But this mother bear did something completely unexpected. She recognized that the humans were not a threat. Did she simply act on instinct? Or did she understand something deeper? Do animals understand kindness? This story raises a powerful question. Was it just survival instinct? Or did the mother bear truly recognize kindness? Science has long proven that animals feel emotions. They experience fear, love, grief, and even joy. But can they comprehend acts of compassion? Can they distinguish between harm and help? Many believe this moment was more than just instinct. It was a sign that animals, in their own way, understand kindness. What do you think? Was this just a rare, lucky moment? Or do animals, like humans, recognize when someone is trying to help? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if this story amazed you, hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible wildlife encounters. Because sometimes, nature surprises us in ways we never expected. Frozen bear cub found shivering on a riverbank. What its mother does next amazes rescuers. The forest was silent except for the whisper of the icy wind weaving through the trees. Snow blanketed the ground in a thick, endless sheet of white. The river, though partially frozen, still flowed beneath a fragile layer of ice, its surface reflecting the pale winter sky. And then, movement. A tiny form, barely noticeable against the snow-covered riverbank, trembled violently. A bear cub, no more than a few weeks old, lay curled up, its fur stiff with frost. It barely breathed, its body too small, too fragile to withstand the brutal cold. No mother in sight. The hikers who stumbled upon this heartbreaking sight stopped in their tracks. The cub's shallow breaths, the way it struggled to keep its eyes open, it was clear. This little one wouldn't last much longer. The dilemma, to help or not to help. A sense of urgency filled the air. Every second mattered. One of the hikers knelt down, extending a cautious, gloved hand toward the cub. It barely reacted. That was not a good sign. Wildlife experts always warn, never interfere with wild animals, especially bear cubs. A mother bear could be nearby, watching from the trees, waiting for the right moment to reclaim her young. Approaching the cub, or worse, taking it, could trigger an attack. But doing nothing? Leaving the cub in the freezing snow meant certain death. The hikers exchanged nervous glances. Then, one of them pulled out a phone and quickly called a wildlife rescue team, explaining the dire situation. The rescuers advised extreme caution. And that's when it happened. A low growl. A shadow in the trees. A deep, rumbling sound echoed through the frozen air. A growl. The hikers froze. Slowly, their eyes shifted to the tree-line. A dark shape moved between the snow-covered branches. A second later, a massive mother bear emerged. Her fur was thick and dusted with snow, her breath visible in the icy air. She was strong, powerful, but something was off. Her movements were sluggish, her steps uncertain. She had been searching for her cub. And now she had found it. The unthinkable moment, a mother's trust. Every instinct told the hikers to retreat. A mother bear near her cub should be dangerous. She should charge, defend, attack. But she didn't. She hesitated. Her dark eyes shifted between the cub and the human standing nearby. She didn't roar. She didn't rush forward in anger. Instead, she waited. It was as if she understood the situation. As if she could see that the humans weren't a threat, that they were trying to help. The risky decision. One of the rescuers, heart pounding, slowly reached into his backpack. He pulled out a thermal emergency blanket. Carefully, keeping his movements slow and deliberate, he knelt down and placed the warm blanket a few feet from the cub. And then, he stepped back. The mother bear watched, motionless. Seconds felt like an eternity. And then, she moved. Slowly, cautiously, she stepped forward. Her massive paws crunched the snow, but she remained calm, deliberate. She sniffed the air. Then, with surprising gentleness, she reached down and wrapped the blanket around her cub. The hiker stared in stunned silence. A wild bear had just accepted help. A mother's love knows no boundaries. With the cub bundled in warmth, the mother bear lowered her head, gently lifting it in her powerful jaws. She took one last look at the humans, then turned and disappeared into the trees. No aggression. No fear. Just a silent understanding. Days later, the tracks that proved survival. For days, the hikers and rescuers couldn't stop thinking about what had happened. Would the mother and cub make it? Had the little one survived the brutal cold? Then, proof. Fresh bear tracks were spotted near the river. One set was large and deep, the mother's. Beside them, tiny, lighter tracks. The cub had survived. Against all odds, they had made it. A moment that stunned experts. When wildlife experts heard about this encounter, they were speechless. Bears are intelligent, but this kind of trust is almost unheard of. A mother bear, instead of attacking, had recognized human kindness. She had hesitated when she could have fought. She had accepted help instead of running. This wasn't just instinct. This was something more. Do animals understand kindness? This story raises an incredible question. Was it pure survival instinct, or do animals truly understand kindness? Science has proven that animals feel emotions. They experience fear, love, grief, and even joy. But can they recognize an act of compassion? Did this mother bear, in that frozen moment, realize that the humans meant no harm? Many believe she did. That she saw beyond instinct. That she trusted. What do you think? Was this a rare coincidence? Or do animals, like humans, have the ability to recognize kindness? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if this story amazed you, hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible wildlife moments. Because nature never stops surprising us. 4-0